So what I've done here is the idea of proportion here. I'm trying to ghost in the wheels, and I always have difficulty with that aspect of it. Now I think it's about 3.5 from there. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to put it there, and the bottom of the vehicle coming up from the wheels is about there, and it's a relatively short front end, somewhere around about there, and the rear end slopes up and takes a little bit of a bend here. It's pretty sketchy at this point, and the screen is somewhere up around there. Now the hood is something like that, and then there's another line comes up and all the way back to about this point where there's some kind of a tail there, and then this sweeps back all the way here. So I'm not really sure if this is going to work out, but so we'll try and get some wheels in. And we'll say that's about it there. And then the wheel well itself is up somewhere around about there. So we'll try this again in the rear. Okay, so it's got a rather pointed front end there, and like so, and then there's an area in here that forms part of a air intake. Not really sure how that works, but this is kind of the way I remember it. Now the wheels might seem a bit on the large side, but we'll go with it at this point. And I think this has to be a bit bigger here. straight down. And I think this is more or less the same. Now it might be that that comes further out. In fact, I think it does. And then there's a couple of lights up here, headlights, and that sweeps over, and then the hood itself. And then there's an air intake somewhere around about here, like that, and it forms part of the bodywork. It kind of goes like so. But more like that. And this part in here, there's some kind of bodywork going on in there. I'll just redo the baseline so that we can get a better idea. Like so. Anyway, this bodywork comes up from there, runs along, it's all the way back. Like that, and then it extends out to the rear of the car, something like so. Now there's a large side mirror, and it casts a bit of a shadow in there. Something like that. And then somewhere around about here, I've got the door, and then cut lines coming down like that, and somewhere down here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and colour this up with pastel colours. Okay, so the way this works is you've got to take some pastel crayons, soft ones, and scrape off the powder. See if you can see this part of it. I'll move it over here. Not really sure how much I need, but play it by ear. And then you take some of this baby powder, talcum powder, and a nice piece of cotton. Maybe your girlfriend or wife's got some of these, come in kind of helpful. So I'm going to pick up some of the talcum powder and get some of this blue colour, and turn this around again so you can see it. And I'm going to make this the light side, something like that. And then I'm going to take some darker blue and I'm going to take some more of the talcum powder, pick up some of the darker blue, and then we'll get it in here, more of a violet colour. I'm going to take some of this matte finish. Shouldn't really do this inside, but here we go. And not too much of it, because that will allow it to dry or fix, so that and the one thing is, you should do this in a vented area, and also might be a good idea to wear a mask. So once it's dry, you can then go in and go over it again. So yeah, it's fairly dry, so we'll pick up some more of this dark blue and like so. And then pick up a bit more of the lighter colour. Now I may be doing this backwards, but the point is, it's all about doing it. Might not work out, but we'll give it a shot. And then give it a quick spray and step out the way. Anyway, I need to look for a grey value. To do the wheels, and I think this might be the colour. Can always darken it up. Now remember, I'm not a car designer, I just like to draw cars. I'm sure there's lots of you out there can do a better job, but we'll see what we can do. Alright, so I'll pick up, so you can see it here. Just got some powder and then pick up some of this grey colour, and I'm going to maybe move the camera so you can see this. And I'll put a little bit of the light blue in there also, just to mix it up. And I think I'm going to add a little bit of orange to give it some colour in there. Yeah, that seems to work. And a bit of this in here also. Just a couple of highlights. And a little bit of yellow for the headlights. Yeah, that's okay. I might go over this with a black marker. Okay, so we're going to see if we can do this carefully enough, and I hope you can see what's going on here. Just turn this around a little bit, like that. Always pretty challenging. Try and show the tyre on the far side there. I'm going to try and fill in the glass. Okay, this is a Uni Posca. Try and get some highlights going. I might have to use acrylic. So we'll see how this goes. This is a very good sable brush, a Kolinsky. It's a bit lumpy, but And then I'm going to try and pick something out of the wheel. I'll try and get a sort of white outline. Yeah, these might be dried out, that's a problem with. So I might have taken it as far as I can without making it any worse. But I might just anyway, we'll see how this goes. It might not work all that well, but yeah, it must be dried up. So I think I'll do that. That'll do for that. I won't try and work it over. But what I will do is I'll add in some of these colours in the foreground to give some kind of reflection. I need to put a little bit more of the dark on there, and then we'll darken that up on the reflection. And see if we can deepen this colour. The more you put on, the darker it will become. And I'm just going to go over this again, like. I'm going to try and put a little bit of a highlight there. And try and pick up the door lines. Like so. And then I'm going to try and pick something out of the wheel. I'll try and get a sort of white outline. And so what I've done here is you know, I've added in these highlights and a bit of a reflection coming from the side mirror, and some additional light up in this upper panel and down here as well. A couple of highlights at the back end, and I've indicated that there's some highlights on the wheels themselves, and then a bit of reflection in the foreground. So the sort of downside to the sketch is I'm not quite sure if I got this slope 100% correct. If you look at a photograph of the vehicle, it's not following that line, but it's pretty close. The front end's not too bad, but yeah, it took me half an hour or so, maybe a bit longer, to get this far, and not a bad effort. I think this would be a wrap, as they would say. You know, when you can afford to buy a Bentley, you can decide to choose what colours you want. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and you should maybe try and participate in the challenge set forth by the designer of the new Bentley vehicle. Bye for now.